Hey guys, it's Michelle from Our Everyday Places, and today I am going to be talking about one of the excursions that we went on at our port stop in Cozumel, Mexico. The excursion that we chose was the Cozumel Ruins / Chocolate Factory / Beach Break. We sailed on the Disney cruise line. However, if you do Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, or Carnival, it seems to be open to those cruise lines and others as well. Now, let me start this review by saying this is in no way a dig or saying a bad thing about the tour guide that we had. Our tour guide was great. She was very informative, quite entertaining, and very understanding of the fact that we had young kids with us. I have a 4-year-old daughter and a 6-year-old son, and there were other kids on our tour bus as well. However, I must give an honest review, and if someone was to ask me if this choice was kid-friendly, the short answer is no, it actually wasn't. So when I go to choose an excursion, I'm very selective in terms of what I choose because I have young kids. For the most part, we don't have a lot of choices, especially because I have a 4-year-old. But this excursion was open to all ages. The only restriction was you have to be mobile. So if you have any issues with walking, it's not recommended for you to do. So I felt like, hey, this is great. It's a combo tour. We get the best of both worlds, a little bit of sightseeing and a little bit of the beach. And I did quite a bit of research on this, but I never got the answer of if this site was actually kid-friendly, which is why I'm making this video in hopes that it can help some of you. So the first stop on this tour was the San Gervasion, I hope I'm saying that right, Mayan Ruins, and we were super excited. My son especially, is a history fan. He loves learning about different cultures and geography and ancient civilizations. So we thought he would really enjoy this as well as us. As soon as we got there, we were told that we arrived during peak mosquito season. So be careful, essentially. Be aware, really. And I don't know if peak mosquito season is even a thing when you're in the jungle. Like, aren't the mosquitoes always there? But we came prepared with insect repellent. Like, I looked down at one man's leg and I saw his leg covered in mosquitoes. It was like 10 mosquitoes on his leg, just one. And I said, sir, there's mosquitoes on your leg. He's like, oh my God, there's mosquitoes on yours. I didn't even feel them. They were that stealth, okay? And it was like 20 of them. So the insect repellent, we just had to keep spraying. And although, we're in the jungle, it's to be expected. It was a bit of a pest, literally, because we had to keep like slapping our body to get the mosquitoes away. Aside from that, we were there for about an hour and a half. And that is a long time for young children. The walking wasn't the problem. It's just maintaining their attention. As you know, young kids have the attention span of like a baby goldfish. And so they just wanted to run ahead and kind of do their own thing. Our tour guide was very understanding of that. She was like, go ahead, walk ahead and do what you need to do to keep them engaged and entertained. So that's pretty much what we did. We kind of walked around. We read some of the descriptions on our own. But for the most part, they just wasn't that interested in being there. I will say that there were quite a bit of stray dogs. My children, they are used to dogs being their pets, so they want to pet the dog. So we had to explain, no, you don't pet stray dogs. So that was something, it wasn't like something to say don't go there for that, but just to be wary of that. They did enjoy looking at all the wild iguanas that were laying all over the site. They enjoyed that part. And honestly, I feel like my husband and I would have enjoyed the tour so much better if we were there on our own. But having the kids, honestly, I didn't hear much of what the tour guide had to say, which is a bummer because she seems super knowledgeable and I would have liked to have learned more, but I just wasn't able to because I had to watch my kids and keep them entertained. The Mayan ruins are beautiful. The whole area is beautiful. There's little water creeks running through, and just to see how much they accomplished with no machinery or hardly any was phenomenal. It was very interesting and outstanding to learn about. But as an adult, I can appreciate that. Whereas my young children, they just essentially see rocks, which is not good to say about such a sacred ground, but a 4-year-old doesn't see it that way. She just sees rocks and trees and stray dogs and iguanas. Once we finished the tour of the Mayan ruins, we got back onto our tour bus and they took us on a drive of the coastal side of Cozumel, which was absolutely beautiful. I did enjoy this part of the tour, learning more about the place that we were visiting for the first time. So we learned what kind of plants and flowers and agriculture they have there, as well as what kind of animals live in Cozumel. So that was really interesting. And we drove to our next stop, which was the Mayan Cacao Company, which is essentially a chocolate factory. This part of the tour, my kids loved. It was great to learn essentially the history of chocolate and how it's evolved and how they turned the cacao plant into one of my favorite desserts. They actually do a demonstration of how they make chocolate right there in the facility, which was a lot of fun. My kids really enjoyed that part of the tour. And then at the end, they have a gift shop, so you can actually buy chocolate that they make. From here, we went on to the beach break part of the tour. However, we didn't have much time there. This tour, the whole entire tour, was about 5 hours. So we spent a lot of time at the Mayan ruins and then at least a half hour to an hour driving and an hour at the chocolate factory, which didn't leave us much time at the beach. We actually visited some type of like beach club called Playa Mia, which is apparently a popular one in Cozumel. There were tons of people there, not just from our cruise ship, from all the cruise ships that were in port that day, as well as other resorts. They have a beautiful beach there. They have a buffet lunch as well as a menu that you can order off of. They have bathroom facilities. They also have a water park kind of area with lots of water slides and like a splash area, which is fun for the children. So by the time we actually arrived at Playa Mia, we didn't have much time. We just grabbed lunch because we were really hungry. We enjoyed our food there. I ordered off menu instead of the buffet, and I enjoyed I think it was like tacos or quesadilla, something like that. It was really good. And then unfortunately, we had pretty much run out of time before we had to be back on the bus. So we never really got a chance to go swimming in the ocean or experience the water park, which my kids really wanted to do because they saw it as soon as we walked in. All right, so in conclusion, what have I learned from this? If I could do it all over again, what would I do differently? Essentially, I would not have gone to the ruins. I definitely would have gone to the Cacao Company and then spending the remainder of my time in Cozumel at Playa Mia. I would have seen the beach more. We would have went swimming. We would have played the games they had there to offer and just really explored that area. Now, where I live, I actually live near the beach. I live by the ocean. So going to the beach wasn't necessarily a priority for me, but it definitely would have been something that would have entertained my kids and kept them happy. And as parents, you know how it is. If the kids are happy, you're happy. If they're entertained, you can drink a pina colada and relax, right? So in theory, visiting San Gervasion sounded like a good idea. I thought, the ruins would be a good cultural experience for my kids, an eye-opening one, and just more educational part of the trip. I didn't want the whole trip to just be sun, water, and, beach, but essentially that's what works. At the young age that they're at, that's what works. So, am I going to take those kids back to that ruin? Absolutely. But I'm going to wait until they're like 8 or 10 years old when they can get more into it, and so can we. Anyway, I hope that this review has been helpful to you in some way. I hope that it helps with your planning, and stay tuned for the next video where I'm going to be talking about our excursion in Jamaica. Take care, guys, and if you like this channel, please subscribe. Bye.